What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got an amazing Dev Pro replay of a tag match that I played after the Vape Nation Invitational, and this one shows off the power of Cyber Angels and how strong this deck can potentially be. I'm not gonna lie, I was completely sleeping on this deck, but man, after watching this duel, this may seriously change your opinions. And the thing is, this isn't like, you know, bad deck like we're playing against like Black Wings, like, you know, some people post, but dude, like everybody in this match, we got DDDs and Cosmo, and I'm playing like, you know, Shiranui Zombies. Like everybody's playing a good deck, and you just see how good Cyber Angels can be. And I'm gonna have to pause it a couple of times because I gotta explain what the heck is going on, because, you know, nobody really knows what the Cyber Angels do. Even I've done videos on them, but I didn't, you know, like it's hard to contextualize them when you're not actually doing against them. So let's go ahead and play. All right, so they're starting it off, and you know, they're starting off with DDDs. They get 7 Kepler, they search Contract, and DDD is going to start doing DDD things. They go into Princess Sprite, which you don't really see that many DDDs go into. Then they've got Joan of Arc, and when you look at my opening hand, well, let me show you my draw. I've got 2 Dark Holes, and I've got my Sage and Book of Life. Like I felt like I was just on cloud 9. I was like, yo, this opening hand is so broken. I didn't know what their set was, but I was like, okay, well, first let's just clear your courtroom. Let's go ahead and Dark Hole you. You don't have a field now. So I go Sage into Unizombie. This is why I like zombies so much, is that they can do this. They can go for your Omega. I get in a little bit of battle damage. Now, at this point, I use Book of Life, and then I set my 2 cards. The reason I use the Book of Life is so that Swallow Sword will be live. And at this point, I feel confident that I can pretty much carry my teammate, because whatever they throw at us, I can Dark Hole next turn. And I'm going to put my Mizuki back with my Omega. In addition, I've got the Swallow Sword, so whatever they put on board, I'm just going to blow it up. But unfortunately for me, I get blasted by Twin Twister during the end phase, but I still have a whole bunch of plays. Now, this is when you guys get to see how powerful Cyber Angels can be, and I'm gonna have to explain a lot of what's going on. So you look at his opening hand; he's got a couple of rituals, got Manju, got Preparation of Rites, which obviously a limited card, but whatevs. They take 1,000. I put my Mizuki back. All right, summons the Manju. Now he's gonna activate Machine Angel Ritual. Now at this point, I'm gonna chain my Omega because I don't know what's in his hand, but I know that he has at least 1 ritual. I'm trying to snipe out the ritual so that he can't summon it. So let's just try and do that. Now, unfortunately, I end up hitting Effect Veiler, which was pretty much the only dead card in his hand. This card is like the most important card for Cyber Angels. It's Cyber Angel Ben 10, just like the TV show Ben Tennyson. Basically, when it's tributed, it can search for any light fairy from your deck and you get to add it to your hand. And this is not a once per turn effect. That's the crazy part of this card. So basically, like if you summon Ida-10 and then you tribute Ben 10 will just replace itself. And here's the crazy part. Ben 10 can actually search things like Honest and Christia, which is why this deck might actually be like kind of competitive. I'm not saying Necros level, but some of the plays that this deck can do is legitimately Necros level. So let's see what he does. So he ends up summoning the Ida-10, and then he's triggering the Ben 10 as well. Now, when Ida-10 hits the board from Ritual Summon, it gets to search another ritual spell. So essentially, this card pays for itself as well. And the crazy thing about this archetype and how all these cards are paying for themselves, this is a GX archetype. So like Advantage did not exist like that during the GX. This is not, you know, this is not Arc V like Necros or anything like that. So they're both going to trigger. So you see 1, 2. He has Hymn of Light, which is the card that summons Saphira, excuse me. And then he's going to trigger Ben 10's effect. And with Ben 10, he's going to activate, or he's going to search Christia. Now, at this point, he activates Preparation of Rites to get another copy of Ben 10, because every time Ben 10 is tributed for a ritual summon, you just get to pay, like you get to just search for something else. So let's see what he does here. He activates Hymn of Light, and he uses the Ben 10 to summon Saphira. So at this point, he still has yet another Machine Angel ritual that he searched from this. And at the same time, him dropping Saphira means that he's still going to be able to use his second Ben 10 to search another ritual. So let's see what he does. All right, so this time, he actually ends up searching Decanini, and he's going to summon Decanini by using the cards on the field. Now, the Ida-10, when it's tributed, it actually gives all your, I think it's all ritual monsters. Let me look in the graveyard. I think it's actually all ritual monsters, or maybe all monsters on the field. It says all ritual monsters gain 1,000 attack and defense. So this card, when you actually use it, or when you use it for a tribute, it boosts your entire field up, assuming your field is nothing but ritual monsters. So at this point, he summons Decanini, and when this card is summoned, you get to make one of your opponent's monsters go to the graveyard. So we end up losing our entire field, and then they drop Christia on us, like insult to injury. Which again, this is not something they actually drew. They searched this from the deck. So when Christia is summoned, it's gonna add Manju to the hand. They have a 3700, a 3500, and a Christia. What are we gonna do? But it's cool, right? Because we have Dark Hole. Oh wait, Saphira's effect. We end up having to discard Dark Hole during the end phase, and I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? Because with Saphira, you know, if you, what's it called? If a light monster was sent from your hand or the deck to the graveyard, which he ritual summoned like, you know, 5 times that turn, so obviously he did that, you can discard 1 card from your opponent's hand. I only had the Dark Hole, so we end up losing that. Now look at this. Cosmo, pretty decent hand. We got, you know, Tin Can and E-Telly and Call the Haunted and Dart Destroyer. This would be a very good hand, but not when you can't do anything. So we get our Omega back. Oh, here's the part that was totally troll, right? So we get Omega back, and my tag partner crashes it into Christia. He's like, oh Cap, all right, for us to be able to special summon, we need to get rid of the Christia. Nope. Did you forget about this card right here? Their ritual card, their ritual spell is actually just like what's that card? It's just like Gospel of Revival for dragons. When one of your light fairies when one of your light monsters would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish it from the graveyard, and then that monster's protected. So we end up losing our Omega for absolutely nothing because no one reads cards, guys. I'm telling you, we didn't even realize that was gonna happen. So they end up banishing the card from the graveyard, and I mean, look at this field. We can't do anything. We have no more Dark Holes, no Regekis or anything like that. So at this point, they're pretty much just styling on us. And by the way, this monster does piercing damage, which is like, that's totally balanced, right? So he sets the Tin Can, even though there was no difference if the Tin Can was in attack and defense mode. It really didn't make a difference because it does piercing damage, and we just absolutely get obliterated, guys. I mean, it doesn't even matter that, you know, we had a whole bunch of big ships in our hand. When you can summon this many big monsters and you can search things like Christia and Onish from your deck, and then you can use Saphira, you know, the discard cards or the draw cards, like, it's pretty damn overwhelming. And I'm thinking, this is a tag duel. Imagine had this been, you know, a single, like, 1-against-1. This would have been basically like an OTK combo, or even if you were going first, you could have easily committed this much to the board. And if your opponent didn't have Regeki, Dark Hole, or the Monarch Stormforth, I mean, what outs do they really have? So this is just a little replay of showing you guys the power of Cyber Angels, man. The deck is just, it's a lot more legitimate than I would have thought, and it's like much faster and more aggressive than I would have thought. So when this deck, when this archetype comes out, man, it might be making a little noise. So you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for watching as always.